Hey, so fam, AmeliaAdair here, and we're back with another Eating Rich and Quick. And I hope you are feeling well, doing well. I'm feeling well, I'm doing well. We're gonna get into this dish, so fam. This dish, first of all, vegetarian, okay? No meat. All right, so fulfilling, so delicious, and on top of that, it lasts like 2 days, 3 days max. I would say 2. If you like me, you eat it for lunch and dinner. If you gonna eat it for dinner, third day might get a little too old. You know what I'm saying? Like I need something new on my palate, kind of thing. However, so fam, this dish is a winner. Okay, 1 is fulfilling. 2 is meatless. If you're trying to take your little break from eating all that meat. 3, it raises your vibration. Okay, your vibration will be on a whole nother level. So just get ready, all right? Because if you haven't been doing any work to raise your vibration, you might hold on to your seat when you take off. All right, so fam, so let's get into it. So you want to always wash your veggies off really well. And we're going to go into every ingredient, don't worry. All right, no worries over here. And you want to just make sure you get a great rinse, all right? Definitely with your potatoes, because these potatoes be going through it. And I love to use these colorful potatoes because 1, it brings some color to the dish, and 2, they're more organic, okay? Because you can tell nothing grows at the same color, okay? So when things are colorful like this, that's a plus. All right, so potatoes, wash off your broccoli, organic broccoli, all right? It should look like a flower, not whatever the other thing is. We're gonna have some scallions. You want to cut up your scallions really well, and onions, a few peppers, and and some carrots. Okay, definitely some carrots. And at first I was like, not the carrots, because carrots do have a strong kind of taste. However, if you use the smaller ones, it blends together really well. All right, and I was so happy kind of washing this too. Like when you hands-on with your vegetables, it really brings back the, how can you say, back in the day, probably before we could even remember, we would have to go out in the field and do things with our hands. And so now that we're living in such a modern world where we just go to the grocery store and just look on the counter and pick what we want, it's cool and all. However, there's a really strong connection to your food when you just really put your hands in it, wash it, pick it, cut it, things of that sort. Okay, so when washing your mushrooms, the best way I know is using 2 dishes, just because they like to fall in the drain. So if you got a little less to deal with, you can have a lot more control as you're trying to wash them off. And just get that kind of, it has like I don't want to say a sticky film on it. It just has like maybe a gooey, maybe that's the better word for it. It just be having this kind of gooey thing on it. And I'll just be like, I like it to feel clean. So I really go in and take my time and wash these mushrooms, definitely when they're pre-sliced. I feel like when they're pre-sliced, they just have time to kind of sit. And so, yeah, you want to wash those off really well. And then once all your veggies are ready and washed, we're going to move right on to prepping our seasoning. So, fam, Miss Tabitha Brown, all right? She does not steer us wrong, all right? She has a couple things in the supermarkets. And when I saw this, I was like, oh, I know this is fire. Because I've had her Target hummus, Buki. We're gonna add that to the menu and do a video on that, because sis hit the home run with that, okay? Miss Tabitha Brown, keep up in the kitchen, because we like it. We love it. All right, and so we're blending this sauteed flavor seasoning. You want to use a coconut amino. I'm learning that too, or like a soy sauce kind of thing, and some olive oil, some avocado oil. Now I've been using this for about a month now, so that's how this goes a long way, because you don't really need a lot of it. And so mix that together, and the directions are on the back of the packet when you choose to get it, so don't worry, and set that aside so we can kind of do its thing. Then we're going to cut up our veggies, all right? I love to use scallions and the rice. We're going to make that rice today because I know so far y'all been coming at me. And I'm like, so far, I told you I could make some rice. However, it just takes a couple more steps, all right? Once you do make it though, it'll be a quicker dish for tomorrow because you don't even have to worry about making nothing. You could just pop it in the bowl and booda boom, booda bang, all right? So you cut up your scallions, cut up your broccoli. I don't like to use celery. I know some people like to use celery in their stews. I don't like the taste of celery, so fam. I feel like broccoli kind of replaces that as far as having that texture. So it's just like, preference. Use whatever veggies you choose. All right. You do want to use I would say about 4 or 5 veggies to really give it that, that push, because they all work together. All right. So fam, so chop that up really pretty. And while we chop this up, we're going to get into a great word, some great motivation. All right, so fam, as you prepping your food, it's always important that you don't lose your focus, okay? Lose your train of thought, all right? So when you cooking and you in your zone, make sure you have a nice low music on the background. Make sure you're not sitting there daydreaming about whatever you saw on social media and trying to figure out all these clues and things like that. No. All right. Take this moment to really focus on your dreams. All right. And focus on where you want to be. And think about the steps that are realistic for you to get there without stressing. All right. Like, for instance, say we're talking about, all right, you got to get a new car because maybe your payments are too high. Okay. Something like that. Don't start stressing like, okay, well, what am I gonna do with this car? What if I go here and then? So that's exactly what I mean when we not focusing our thoughts. So instead, we're going to force the positive thought in. Okay. So you want to be like, you know what? I need a new car. I need lower payments. The answers are going to come up. Okay, the answers inside of me are going to come up effortlessly. I'm not going to have to try to break my back. I'm not going to have to try to take 2 more jobs up. I'm not going to try, because oftentimes, we're trying to force what we want instead of move in that direction calmly. Okay, so if the payments you have in your car is too high, take a moment and pray on it. For one, like, all right, these payments are too high. This is too high. What can I eliminate? Because a car is more of an essential, right? So maybe the car is high because you have other bills in other places that are taking up those funds. Okay, because a car is a difficult thing to get in and to get out of. We all know. I just want you to understand the thought process of thinking logically, not stressing while you're thinking, not thinking the worst case scenario. Because sometimes we like, all right, I can work 3, 4, 5 hours and 6 hours and 7 hours and 8 extra hours. If you start working 8 extra hours to pay for a car, you're going to wear yourself out faster than the car wear out. So you got to just think logically. And that's why I always tell you, so fam, get you a coach. Some people are afraid to get on that phone and maybe they feel a little embarrassed. Get on the phone and talk to the coach. Because when we in this mud and we in this problem, we have blinders on. It's hard for us to see us. And then it starts to trickle down in our life. And then we start to develop jealousy, develop envy, and get upset about where other people are when those people are investing in their decision making. Those people are investing in themselves. Them people are really being more mature about the situation, and you'll go a lot further later on, and you'll start to really fix your heart and see, like, it's okay to get help. If this person is charging a service to help you, they got bills too, and even prior to, like, when I first started coaching, and of course I had to charge. There was kind of like a lot of backlash, you can say, like, oh, you're charging to help people. And that's a broken mindset, so fam. So when you're trying to get yourself out of a different pit, you're trying to shift your mindset at the end of the day, because you don't want to do all this work and then end up right back at square one. All right, so just give that some thought, that it's okay to, just like if people that go to college, they're paying for the education. Don't think that someone is trying to come for you or take advantage of you, and try as many different coaches and therapists as you can. All right, so man, so we're gonna get right back into this dish. All right, so as you can see, I let the veggies sit for a little while on a low steam, just to get them cooking a little bit before we throw in the saute magic. And we also gonna have our water boiling. Okay, so fam, so our boiling water for our rice. All right, so you want to do 1 to 2 ratios. Okay, so if you have 1 cup of rice, 2 cups of water. And I like to do a little bit less than 2 cups of water, like a little bit less, because at the end I always put in a little bit of this coconut milk, and that really allows the rice to get firm without getting soggy, if that makes sense, and add flavor and a lot of other benefits. All right, so that's what you can see I'm doing here. I let the water boil as I clean my rice. You got to always clean off your rice, and then you want to throw in the coconut milk and mix that all together, and then put that on the boil. Once it starts boiling, then you put the lid on top, and it cooks by itself. You don't got to keep going and stirring it, checking it. That's how people mess up their rice. No, rice, you just let it sit. All right, so once your veggies come to a cool steam, like cooked, not all the way cooked, just cooked enough, you want to throw in your Tabitha brown saute business. All right, and we're going to use it a little bit differently. All right, I'm going to use it to kind of make the stew, because we're going to make like a curry kind of stew. All right, with the veggies. And if you want to do chicken, that's fine. We're going to prep our potatoes second. We did not put our potatoes in here, so fam, don't try to cook the potatoes with the veggies, because potatoes take a little bit longer to cook. All right, mix that together, cover that with a lid, put that back on about a medium, I would say. Yeah, I put it on a medium. Then we're gonna get into our potatoes. I did cut the potatoes off camera because my camera was dying. And this is about the size, so you want to do little small triangles. They're already small potatoes, and so this makes it more easy to cook, okay, because they won't be so thick. You don't want them really thick, because then you're gonna have to boil them, then fry them, where it's just doing more steps, where you could just cut them smaller. All right, you want to put some garlic butter on those. Keep it real pretty, hossa ditty. All right, and then of course put that pan with the avocado oil. Put it all over there. Now this is a beautiful non-stick pan. All right, if your pan is a little bit stickalicious, then you might want to put the oil in there first. And you want to put it on a medium, low to medium heat. All right, so fam, and then we're going to just let that do its thing. Mix that up really well. And you see our rice is on low. We got our vegetables on medium to the left. And we're going to bring this dish together in no time. The rice cooked in about, I would say 15 minutes, because I use 1 cup of rice. Yeah, so I make a small pot of rice, because so fam, it just be me. And this is how you will know that your rice is pretty much ready to go. All right, you'll see the holes in the bottom of the pot, and then on top of that, once you take a fork and kind of look to the bottom, it won't be any water at the bottom. And then once you see all the water is gone out of the rice, so fam, you want to mix it up. And if your rice is sticking to the fork, you put too much water. All right, and it's okay if you put too much water the first time. You can still eat it. It's still eatable. Just next time, put a little less water. Okay, so you gotta eyeball your stove. You gotta know your pots. You gotta kind of know what you're doing over here a little bit. Rice is not as easy as 1, 2, 3. Once you do it a couple times, it'll get easier. Because honestly, I think this is my second time making this rice, and the first time it was alright. This time I was like, yes, it came out perfect. I was like, maybe I knew I was recording, because it didn't stick to the pot at all. All right, and then you want to make sure your potatoes are getting nice and brown, and cooked fully through. As your rice is sitting, when you put your rice back to sit on the side, don't cover the rice fully with the lid, because then you'll start to kind of create more water in the rice. All right, the trick to the rice is once the water's out and the rice is soft, lid off, or kind of covered a little bit. You know what I'm trying to say, so fam. Let the air get into it. All right, now look at this, so fam. Look at these veggies. These veggies are coming together and no time. Okay, you see that boil? Once you see that boil, you move it to the side, and we're going, last step, put everything together. Okay, so to do the curry, it takes about 10 minutes to cook once it's all together. You want to use your coconut milk, and you want to use 14 ounces. All right, you want to, once your potatoes are brown and ready, and if you chose to use meat, hey, do your thing. However, we're going to do some potatoes, and we're going to try this red Thai curry sauce. If you know how to make curry, go ahead, girl, do your thing. All right. We're going to do it like this. All right. And you want to just add them in together because it's already hot. The skillet was already hot. And then as I was doing this, I remembered that this skillet doesn't have a lid. So you're going to see how I just ended up transferring it to the veggies, which it doesn't matter which way you do it, honestly. So fam, it's all going in the same place. All right. And so mix your Thai curry sauce with the coconut milk, and this needs to cook for 10 minutes. All right, so rather it's 10 minutes all together or 10 minutes separately, 10 minutes, that's it. And when you add it to your veggies, if it has a little water in the pot, cool. However, if you choose to drain it, it may be a little less juicy, as you can say, a little more thicker. However, don't worry about it, because I'm going to show you how to make sure your sauce gets the thickness and the consistency with this thing called oat flour, okay, or flour in general, right? Gravy master, some people use that. I don't know. I just like a little flour. I feel like it keeps the flavor in my food more authentic, and this just literally changes the texture. Okay, so it's not going to taste like oats. It's not going to taste like flour. It's literally going to just thicken up the pasta. And what you also have to understand, so fam, is that when it's really hot like this, it's not going to really show its true consistency until it cools down. Okay, so if it's looking a little watery, the flavors are still there. It's not really watery. Definitely because we seasoned the veggies. We used the Saute seasoning. And we seasoned the potatoes, we seasoned everything. So when you put it together, and it's not going to be blanded out, if that makes sense. And you can see, so one, I was really happy about this rice. I love when the rice comes out perfectly without the stickiness, it has a different taste to it. And you want to then add your vegetables, add your curry. This curry wasn't spicy either, by the way. You can choose how spicy you want this. I'm not there yet. I'm not on that spicy level. So just know this is real mild. And then, so fam, when you pair it with these gimme seaweed sheets, it's like, oh. Because the texture that comes together with this and the flavors that comes together with this is so priceless. It becomes a hands-on dish. And when you use as many senses as you can when you're eating, the toes be moving. You know what I'm saying? You be dancing in your seat. You be just feeling all the way there. All right, so fam, so don't sleep on these seaweed strips. It's kind of like the sushi seaweed paper. However, it's better because it has some sea salt on it, it has some flavor on it, and they're smaller. And so I was like, let me show so fam how I do it. I kind of do it like a little taco. I don't know how to explain it, but I put it together and then I squeeze it. And so fam, I mean, listen. And you can buy these either in the box or singular. And if you buy a singular, they're like $1.50 for the little packet. You can have these for lunch. And the seaweed is very, very healthy for you, so fam. Like, very healthy. Throw them crackers out. These seaweed, what? So fam, try this dish. Let me know how things roll out for you. And let me know what you use instead.
Here you go. Yeah, what's up? Yo, so fam, reporting live. I ain't even gonna grab the camera. This the dish. This the dish. Glory to. Boop boop. I mean, just drop what you doing. Go into this. Okay? And when you make it, clear your mind and pray. Okay? And when you eat it, let me know how it goes. Peace.
And you already know, so fam. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll be back next week with another great dish, so get ready, and another great word. Alright, so prep yourself. And you already know, AmeliaAdair here. I'll see you at the next one.